Hello, back again. Hope all is well with everybody. It's been a little bit of a while, but I'm back again with another project, simple little project that I'm hoping will help you, inspire you into using up some of the things that you have, but don't really have any idea what you might like to do with, other than like with these tea cards, maybe to make into a tag, or to just simply stick in a pocket or something like that. So, oh, that's a pretty one, isn't it? Love those colours. So while I was making the little notebooks from postcards, which you saw me doing in the last video, I thought, what else could we use other than cutting up a postcard? What else could we use, or what else could I use? And then I remembered I had all of these. Well, all of these. I have a huge box full of these. These are standard tea cards. They came used to come in tea bags from various tea bag companies, and they had collections. This happens to be some of the wildflower collection I've got. They had other ones, boats, famous people, etc, etc. Butterflies is another common one. Those are fairly standard. Those are the ones that you might all recognise. I've also got, I have collected in the past, these ones, which are very beautiful. They're British trees. They are lovely, and these ones came from a tobacco company, so you may have some this big. I also have these, and I find these far too beautiful to do anything with at the moment. They are absolutely gorgeous. There's the colours, the actual artwork, just stunning cards. Look at that beautiful hair. So yeah, you can also get collections like this as well. The main thing really, I suppose, is that we're using things that are all of the same size, that all have that regularity to them. But I do like these, so you may find you have some of those. Anyway, we'll go back to the ones that we're going to feature today. The ones that I'm going to feature today. These ones are, as I say, standard tea cards. They generally they come in at just about 37 mil by about 68 mil. That's their size. Just pack them up, and you can see they're, doesn't matter what sort of brand they are, they all seem to be the same. So we're going to use those as a feature on some little notebooks, I suppose, little jotters, which can come in handy just to stick into a pocket in your journal. I used butterflies on this one, so the orientation is in a sort of landscape. A lot of them do come as portrait orientation, but that, it doesn't matter, does it? They're all very beautiful. So what we're going to use is this size. With it, I'm suggesting we use a little bit of good old file folder. Okay, this has a great quality to it, great weight to it, and also it does come in these sort of very muted bland colours, I suppose. A little bit of that, some either tea stained paper, remnants, or I've got a collection of old sketch pads which have gone a very nice colour because of their age, and that's a nice quality. And when I'm cutting up journal pages and things like that, I often end up with strips which I find too good to throw away, so I do keep them. So I've got quite a lot of that. As I say, you will be using the sewing machine, but the other thing I'm using is my my corner rounder, and a little bit of glue or a bit of double-sided tape, but you know, you don't need to have the glue. As I say, you will need to use a sewing machine. So what we'll do first of all is we'll pick out two of the images. Let's use those two just for now. And the first thing that I like to do is I like to just distress the edges of these cards now while they're loose. They get a couple of moments to dry a bit, because they do have a slightly glossy surface. They get a couple of seconds to dry a bit, and there we are. So they're nice and grunged on the edges. Okay, so pop those to one side, and using a couple of dry non-distressed ones, I'll show you what we need to do next. What we need to do is we need to get our file folder, and we need to decide on our size. Now, I liked the idea of having a sort of similar amount of white green as is the white there, so we put that one there, we put that one about there, bearing in mind that we're going to have a fold down the middle there. As you've seen with these, there's a fold, and we're just going to measure, and I reckoned 85mm to give us a little bit of a frame around there, and I think I measured 75mm to the bottom there. Okay, so cut out a piece of file folder that's the right size. Lo and behold, here we have a piece of file folder that's the right size. You could use a scoreboard to score down the middle. What I find is easier, especially with file folder, is just to coax it along a bit before making that actual bend. Fold it in half. Take your corner rounder and just give it a snip on those two non-spine corners, if you get what I'm saying. Alright, and you'll see that those fit on there very nicely indeed. Right, this is where the little bit of glue or the little bit of double-sided tape comes in handy, because we're going to take this over to the sewing machine in a minute, and just to give it that little bit of stability and to give you that little bit of confidence in keeping things in the right place, we just pop a bit of double-sided double-sided tape or a bit of glue down. We'll pop the two images on there and there, and the reason that I've only popped it in the middle is because, and leave this quite free, is because when we're sewing we don't really want gluey stickiness on our needle, but so it only needs to be sort of tacked on here and here. Okay, to save time, what I've done is I have sewn one already, and so you can see what's happened here. It's now attached. It was only glued in the middle there and there. We need then to cut some of our inside paper, and again what I'd like to do is just to have it slightly shy of all of the edges. I think 2 or 3 mil either side is great, so cut 2, 3 or 4, especially if you're using tea stained, you know, your standard copy of paper, it's not quite as thick. 2, 3 or 4 pieces, cut 2 or 3 pieces to fit inside as your inner pages, and then fold those in half. Again, just, I think it looks so much softer and so much nicer if the edges are rounded off on these corners. And just do that thus and thus. Okay, get rid of those flaky bits. And then just pop that in the middle, and you can see we've got a nice what would that word be, overhang around the edges of the little folder. I'm taking this to the sewing machine, and again, to give you a little bit of confidence and a little bit of security, I would just attach that there, hold that down, secure that down, and then stitch from beyond the top, stitch all the way down here and off the edge. And when you've done that, you take these ends and tie them up, because that's, if anywhere's going to get loose and fall apart, that's where it will get loose and fall apart. And then it's just a case of encouraging that to fold nicely. The perforations there will help it fold really nicely, actually. And then the usual distressing of these edges. I also like to just distress the tops, the sides and the bottom of the pages. And there we have it. It's fairly simple, fairly straightforward. You can see with this one I've done a bit of zigzag stitch just to change it up a bit. If you're not worried about the inside, I'm not particularly worried about it. I don't have a preference really, but if you like to be like things to look neat on the back side, what you can do is you can use one of these pages to stick down, as I've done in this one. This is stuck down here. There are then pages that you can still write on, obviously, but they have covered up those the stitching that you can see the back of there. Right, well, that's those two. It would be lovely to make maybe some with using bigger ones as well, but it does just give you an idea of what to do with your stacks and stacks and stacks of these tea cards. Well, I hope that was informative and I hope you enjoyed it. Obviously, if you would like to subscribe, that would be great. Like the video, leave a comment about the video, and I'll see you again very soon with something else that you might be interested in making along. Take care. Thank you. Bye bye.